name is MONET Petite and I'm a burlesque performer. I've been performing for about 4 or 5 years. In 2010 I started taking classes with a friend just for fun, and it sort of snowballed from there. Tonight I'm doing a really classic striptease, so going back to basics, partly because I am the only burlesque performer of the night, but also because it's always just really good fun to go back into the vintage era a little bit. So it'll be a little bit out of my comfort zone because I do usually do more modern burlesque. It started out, honestly, I was just doing classes and having a little bit of fun and having a bit of a dance and being goofy. So it didn't start out totally as a creative process, but after I started seeing a few performances and started being inspired by different performances, especially of the golden era, I eventually started to do smaller shows until it built up and I was given a proper job from there. But I find that most of what I do is a parody of something, so I'm inspired by a movie or a character or an idea or some kind of statement or something, and then you sort of turn that into something. Silly things can often inspire just really ridiculous ideas, and that can happen just when you're having a conversation with a girlfriend or you're watching something that you used to love when you were a kid, so sometimes that sort of thing. But often, honestly, the people that I've met doing burlesque and performing in general and in the art scene are so amazing and intelligent that we bounce off each other a lot. A lot of people ask me, oh, how can I do that and how can I do classes? That's usually what you get from a lot of the girls that come along to our shows, especially if they're not already within the scene. So it sort of depends. If it's somebody already involved in this sort of stuff, it's often just, oh yeah, that was awesome, and kind of goes on from there. But when when it's someone who's sort of new to the whole burlesque thing or hasn't seen a show before, often it's, oh, you know, how do I get involved? And that's good feedback because it means that they've seen it, they've liked it enough that they actually want to give it a go themselves, and that's always really exciting. So I'm actually starting a PhD soon, and I do something in a completely different area. So it's actually, to me, I see it more as my outlet and my hobby and something that I do on the side that keeps me happy and keeps me grounded and centered and gives me somewhere else to direct my thoughts and my energy and creativity, because what I do for work the rest of the time and what I'm studying isn't particularly creative necessarily. There's no reason why, just because it isn't my main career, that it can't go further. So I would love to do more and have more opportunities and perform in larger spaces. I mean, I've only really performed in Perth. I've done a little bit in Sydney, but mostly Perth. So to do a little bit more and maybe do some interstate festivals or eventually an international festival would be awesome. I work for a troupe called Lady Velvet Cabaret, and that's where I perform burlesque. And they have a website, so ladyvelvetcabaret.com.au. I also have a Facebook page, which is just MONET Petite, spelled M-O-N-E-T and then Petite. So that's a really good way to find out what we're up to as well, because I try to update that as much as possible. And also the Lady Velvet Cabaret page is really good at promoting what we're doing as well, and they also have an Instagram. My name is MONET Petite and I'm a raw artist.